this is Schwermetallisch, and I'm sitting here with David Reece. Hi, David.
Hey, greetings, everybody.
Hi. So, that's a new album that just was released on October 29th.
Mm-hmm.
Blacklist Utopia. How did that go? Was it a pleasant release?
Yeah, it was. I released Cacophony of Souls March 13th, 2020, and everybody knows what happened. So I was kind of went into a depression. I was watching my email every day and all the cancellations. And Malta, our bass player, he called me one day and said, "What are we going to do?" I said, "I don't know." And he said, "Well, I've got a bunch of recorded tracks. Would you like to hear them? And let's start writing." I said, "Sure." And amazingly, he sent me, he and I wrote 85% of the record together in about a month. And I think I recorded all the vocals in about 2 weeks. I mean, it went really fast. Thank God we had something to do,
Yeah. I know everyone on the planet has too much time on their hands.
Yeah.
At the moment.
It's good for writing, though. I think it's you get a lot of material to take out of the air and work on. It helped me with a lot of stress, and it helped me find ideas. And I don't know, it just seemed to really be kind of a healing way to deal with the lockdown here in Italy, anyways.
Yeah, the first lockdown was really something special, I would say, because most people have never faced a situation like that in their lifetime. So it was like, the craziest fucking shit I ever encountered.
Yeah,
just stay at home and...
It's getting fucking crazy again. I just talked to some Danish friends last night, and they're on pretty heavy lockdown again. And I actually work in Denmark, construction over the summer, and it was really open and happy and no mask in the stores. Everybody was working. And now it's like the big terror, word is out. So I don't know what to believe.
Yeah, I just think that no matter on which side of the discussion you end up yourself, it's the hardest thing for everyone is just to stay calm and not overreact. Don't start to hate people because of what they think. Okay, there are hardships in relationships if you suddenly realize that people are way different than you thought for years. Mm-hmm. But I think as soon as this is over, maybe some friendships can start again, or at least I hope so.
I've seen a lot of friends stop being friends over this, the politics of the virus, and I respect anybody's opinion. If they want to be vaccinated or if they don't, I think it's a person's right to choose what they want to do with themselves and their body. So. I just try to stay out of the chaos on the internet.
That's not an easy task.
No, it's madness. From politics to the virus to everything going on. I try to just right now I'm studying Italian, of course, because I live here, the language. So I spend a lot of time online with online classes and writing every day. So I write every day. That keeps my mind off all this stuff.
How many different languages do you speak?
Ein bisschen Deutsch, of course, English, and ein bisschen Italianisch.
Well,
my German is better than my Italian.
Yeah, it's kind of complicated because I think German and English is somewhat familiar.
Yeah. Wasser, water, nein, no,
and
yes.
Dutch is too.
Yeah.
That often sounds like a mix of German and English.
Yeah.
And
Danish. Danish is fairly simple for me to understand because it's very similar to German in some ways. So, I got along pretty good with the Danish people. I could understand some of the conversations.
That's always good and always unexpected of those people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know that, because our country is, of course, mixed as fuck, so to say. We have people from all over the world here, and different languages. We have Russians and Polish people, and people from Turkey and Arabia, China, Japan, India. So that's sometimes a crazy mix if you're driving with a subway.
Yeah.
It's like, oh hell.
Yeah. But I'm a firm believer, if you live in a country and you change your life and leave your other country, it's your responsibility to learn the language of the country you choose to live in. I think that's a big problem with a lot of people that immigrate to good economies, is they refuse to assimilate into the country they live in. So it causes a lot of stress for, say, a German-speaking person, trying to speak to somebody and say, oh, you want to work for me? What are you talking about? Sprechen Sie Deutsch? And they say, nein. How long have you lived here? 3 Jahre. You're like, what?
Yeah, I think that's a problem with bigger economies. We have those micro universe stuff. We have just cities that are half. Yeah, you have so many people from foreign countries living in Berlin, for example, that you have whole blocks in the cities that are just inherited or populated by those people, and then it's very easy for them to not they don't have to speak a language, because they have their shops, they have their work there, and their families, their friends. And I think it's our fault, because we don't know how to deal with the situation. We just take people from foreign countries and say, you can live here, but we don't give them the proper opportunities to learn the language. And of course, you have the opportunity to do so, but I think we could do better, and we should do better.
For instance, in Italy, I cannot drive on my American driver's license, and Italians cannot drive on their Italian license in America. But the rest of the EU, I'm free to drive on my driver's license. So in order to get an Italian driver's license, I must comprehend, I believe they said 65% of the Italian language, which, I'm working on all the time. But it's just a really strange law. But I understand it. They want us to, read the signs and when you're driving and be safe and everything. So, but, my family, obviously my sons and my wife want to speak English to me in the house. So I say, please, parlare Italiano to me. And but they want to practice their English. So, we try. And I'm like you. I think we can do a better job of communication. The thing about iPhone.
Inclusion, that was the word I was searching for.
Absolutely. You can take an iPhone and you can speak to people all over the world, because you're not talking face to face. And you can hit translate and all that stuff, where that's not really communicating if you live in that country, right? Yeah,
that's just it helps. It doesn't solve the problem, but it definitely helps.
Oh, yeah.
So back to Blacklist Utopia, which was released in late October. What is hindsight is 2020? What is that about?
2020, the year. I mean, I look back on it. We always say hindsight is 2020 in English. It's kind of a saying. It's like, it's like 6 dozen or 6 or 12 dozen of the one and the other. It's a little slang we use. And I look back over 2020, and if you read the lyrics, it's kind of explaining, that whole disaster of what happened to the music business for me. God, I know tons of other industries that were destroyed because of it. But it's basically about that. It was, it just seemed to fit. It was actually one of the first songs that Malta and I wrote together. It just seemed like the right thing to say.
So this is a 55-minute long record, which is it's for a heavy rock, that is quite long. So is that the normal length of an album for your solo project, or is it just the situation that did that?
Contractually, you're bound normally for 45 minutes on a record, on contract. So the thing about Blacklist is there's a little bit different musical changes and stuff, as you've noticed, longer solo sections and stuff. So I think that probably ate up another 10 minutes. There's 13 tracks. The ballad, I knew I needed a ballad because on Cacophony of Souls, Another Life, Another Time really hit a nerve with people. So I said, well, we were already finished at 12 songs. And I said, yeah, but we don't have an acoustic ballad. So Andy and I put together American Dream. So, the songs average 4 minutes, 4:30. That's why. I mean, if a song is good, I don't care how long it is. I mean, I know albums back in the 70s, the B-side was one song, so to me, it's I think if you do like 18 or 20 songs on a CD, they got all crush your skull and be fantastic. Otherwise, you're just skipping from song to song to find your favorites, right?
Yeah, that's what happened in my youth.
Yeah, Prince, I think he was one of the first to do 18 song CDs, that 4-minute songs. It was like, what are you doing?
Yeah, or grindcore bands that just have an album with 20 songs and it's just like 15 minutes of actual music because they just blast your head off.
Yeah, it all sounds the same.
Yeah, sometimes it does. Yeah. So on Metal Archives, and is it true that you're recently that at the moment you're in 6 different bands in your own project? Easy Living, Gypsy Rose, John Steele, Reece Cronland, and Wicked Sensation?
No, Easy Living was 2014. That was the beginning of my relationship with Hans Ziller, moving into Bonfire. I did kind of a small record with him when we met, and then he asked me to join Bonfire when he bought the name, and I ended up doing 3 albums with them. What I did over the summer of 2020 and part of this year, and it was, I don't want to be a guy on multiple projects anymore. I'm more focused on my stuff, but the economy kind of pushed me into a corner where I was getting a lot of offers to sing on demos and do some recordings with other people. I did, however, do the John Steele album in 2019. I had recorded that album with them because I do a lot of shows like in Bulgaria and Romania with them. And they had asked me to do a record with them, and I said, sure. So then that was done right before the lockdown. And then my album, Cacophony of Souls, was already finished, and it came out in March 2020. The John Steele album will come out sometime next year. I'm not exactly sure. But, I mean, nobody was signing anybody. It was kind of a slow time for new signings. I was, however, lucky. My manager introduced me to Jimmy Waldo from Alcatraz. I already knew Jimmy anyways, but he co-wrote a couple of songs on Blacklist Utopia with me. And then he started talking about this project that he had with a guy named Steve Rosen. Do you know Steve Rosen? He was a writer for, I think, Guitar World magazine, and he has a YouTube channel now where you can watch all of his interviews with all the big guitar players around the world.
I'm too busy still doing that myself, to be honest.
Well, long story short, Steve had always asked all of these great guitar players, one day I'm going to do an album and I would like you to play solo on it. And they're like, yeah. Well, I think because COVID, everybody was sitting around, Rosen said, let's do this album. Ask David Reece if he would be interested in singing on it and writing on it. And Jimmy called me and I said, yeah, okay, I'll try it. And I listened, and I'm actually a hard rock singer, but I listen to Steely Dan. I love Tom Petty. I love a lot of different stuff. I like the Rival Sons a lot. And this stuff was more hard rock, 80-ish style stuff. And I wrote nine melodies and lyrics to 9 songs, and then the other 2 were Blackthorn songs that Graham Bonnet had sung, and because Bob Kulick had died, and they wanted to re-record the tracks kind of in honor of Bob. So, much to my surprise, on every track is somebody very famous, and I'm in the company of kings. I mean, Joe Satriani, Bumblefoot, Kane Roberts. Oh God, Paul Gilbert. I can't remember all the people. So every time I listen to one of the tracks, I go, oh, that's Satriani. You can tell. So it's kind of a nice thing. I don't know who's going to release it. It's been done for about a year now. And the Wicked Sensation thing was also another thing that popped up. Now, people don't remember probably, but I did an album with them in 2014. I did the album Adrenaline Rush. And nothing really ever happened with it. Great album. I mean, those Michael Klein and the other guitar player, his name is Zhang Bong. He's Chinese German, kind of like what we were talking about before. They are really clever, great songwriters. And they work with Dennis Ward as a producer. And they contacted me and said, hey, we're going to do another album. Would you be interested in singing on it? And, I said, yeah, let me hear what you got. And they actually have gotten better as songwriters. This is a stronger album. I don't know if you've seen the first video, Starbreaker. Have you seen it?
No, not yet.
The video Starbreaker has been out since about 2 weeks, 3 weeks now. And it's on Rock of Angels Records. It comes out December 17th. We did 3 videos in one weekend. The next video, I believe, comes out tomorrow. It's a song called Face Reality. It's really great. We shot it in Pforzheim on the top of the rubble where they have the chrome statues from where the city was pushed into a pile after the war. And it was really a cool location to shoot an outdoor video. And then we shot a slower one inside. But that album is fantastic. I'm really proud of it. I got to write all the lyrics on it and worked with melodies on it with Michael Klein. So, yeah, but the thing that I'm always, right now I'm writing a new solo album, obviously, because I write all the time. But I'm also doing a project called Iron Allies with Herman Frank.
Ah.
Yeah, and it's super heavy. The band members are Donnie Van Stavern on bass from Riot, and Francesco Giovino will be the drummer. And I think Herman and I and Donnie have written 22 or 23 songs that we've demoed. And it's funny because all the media are really curious about it. Herman kind of talked about it once and it just exploded. So right now we're negotiating with record companies for a deal. And in this climate, you kind of need a bunch of name guys in a band to sell tickets.
Yeah, of course.
It's a business thing, but I also love Herman, and I always have. He's a fabulous guitar player, great writer. We've been in the same band at different times, so.
Yeah, I think I had an interview with him too.
Yeah.
Yes.
So he's that we're really excited about that, and we're talking to a heavyweight management company right now, and hopefully we get out and do some festivals next summer together. But yeah, I've been trying to stay busy as a singer. I don't want to oversaturate myself, but this is a business and I have to survive. I have a family to feed. So there will be another David Reece record. I'm also going to do a blues record with a guy named Mike Onesco from Cleveland, Ohio. It's a real humble pie kind of free Bad Company type thing.
I love Bad Company, so.
oh man, this then you'll love this. I mean, it's organic, one guitar, drums, and bass. I mean, we've written about 8 songs recorded together, so we're kind of thinking about putting that into production maybe in January, February. But right now I'm promoting Blacklist Utopia, and I'm really, really happy with the results. The media has been great. The sales are really good. And
that's good to hear.
I just wish I could play.
Yeah, I wish I could go to gigs. It was like I think we had 2 months here where it was possible to attend gigs, and now everything is closing again, and it's like yeah, many tours and gigs are cancelled or rescheduled for 2022 or 23 even. And I just need to go out and rock again. It's really, yeah,
the
tough.
human condition. We need to see the faces, smell the sweat, hear the loud volume, interview the bands, hang out with the bands, and I want to connect with the people. I mean, I really miss that. It's funny that you said that, because I did a show last May, with John Steele, a festival outside. And everybody told me, the vaccine, you got to wear the mask on the plane and everything. I had to get tested before I got on the plane. I got tested when I got off. I get to the festival and nobody's wearing a mask. Everybody's wasted. And I felt really strange because I'd been away from the scene. My last live gig with me solo was from Denmark to Norway in 2019 in October the 29th. I did a festival on a cruise ship. So I went right into production with Cacophony of Souls, the album before this, and then COVID hit. So anyways, I went to Bulgaria, and while I was on stage, it was almost like I was out of a body experience. I was not really feeling connected to the audience, because it felt like I need to get back on stage. I'm cold. This is not working.
Yeah.
The audience was great. I mean, they were like, "Wah!" But I did not feel like everything was firing on all cylinders,
Yeah, I think we will have to get used to it again if everything starts again, opens up again, and this whole shit show is over.
Yeah.
Relearn the socials.
I can't wait. I like I said, today I confirmed, actually it's a blues festival for July in Sweden. It's a 3-day thing. And then I have a couple of gigs in Spain in May with my band. And actually Victory is playing with us, so it's going to be nice. And then in November, I have some German dates to play. Yeah. So, but when you're talking about less than 10 shows for a year, it's horrible. I mean, I want to do at least 150. So.
Yeah, I want to buy merch. I want to hang out with the bands. The only thing that really changed in the whole pandemic time is that I connected to so many people over the internet in the last 2 years that if everything starts again, I have to meet friends I didn't have before.
That's good though.
That's good, yeah.
Can you imagine 20 years ago if we didn't have the connection we have now? I think people would be jumping out of windows. I mean, at least now you and I can speak to each other from 2 different countries and talk about our love of music,
Yeah, that's right. Well, when it comes to love for music, back to your new and recent record. What is your favorite song on this record?
It's a good problem to have, because I, went through everything, playing it and recording it, and you kind of just get away from it. And then some days I'll just put it on. One day I'll really like the song To the Core. And then one day I'll really like Utopia. I love the ballad, American Dream. I think Red-Blooded Hellraiser is a cool, straight-ahead rock and roll song. Book of Lies is really good.
What is the most different to sing?
What do you mean?
What is the one song on this record that pushes you when you think of this is not the easiest shit to sing?
Oh my God, a lot of them. It's like, I mean, I gotta say, as a singer, you know, I'm 61, so I mean, I've been singing since I was a baby, and you learn your limits and your qualities, you know, the older you get, and if you're trained and you've taken lessons, you learn to work through the bad parts, the good parts. So if you notice any of my thing in my last few records, there are songs where, because I'm a David Bowie fan as well, there's a color in my voice in the lower register that I really like. There's no need to go to the stratosphere with all your vocal lines. Yeah. A man, especially being male, I think that men should use their voice in a manly fashion, rock and roll. Yeah. Everybody knows you can hit the high notes. So what? I mean, it's the song. But, you know, I do go up there where it's needed. But I have seemed to have been writing in lower registers and trying to work on that area of my voice, because it seems that fans, oh, I didn't know you could sing like that. That's really cool. I like, would you do some more? You know, and then I get interviewed and they go, why did you do that? And I go, well, you know, I'm a David Bowie fanatic. I mean, I've been a David Bowie fan since I was 11 years old. So there's a reason he sings way down like this. It sounds cool, and it's easier to do live, and you can do it powerfully as well.
Yeah, of course. Do we have any tips for vocalists?
Yeah, don't take drugs, don't drink. I did all of it. I'm clean. I live clean. Go to sleep. Try not to talk too much when you're on tour. You know, I mean, you're just listening to yourself talk anyways. You know, it's a muscle. I mean, it's like if you're a football player, you're not going to go run a marathon and have a game the next day. Take vocal lessons, you know, and work at it. Try to sing every day and keep the muscle warm. You know, I used to drink like hell. I mean, I was full-blown alcoholic, and I always thought that gave me that extra kick where I could really lay it out, you know. It was actually a lie. I was lying to myself. I found out to be kind of an anxiety thing that I had, maybe an internal stage fright or not feeling confident. But actually, alcohol dehydrates the vocal cords. Yeah. And if you listen back to your recordings, if you're drinking, you go, oh. And then you listen back when you're not drinking, you go, ah, it's much better. I mean, I've been clean over 3 years now, and I passed the baton to some other maniac who wants to play that game because I'm tired of it.
Yeah, I guess it's like you have to rewire your brain to realize that you're actually better off with not drinking, taking drugs, smoking, and all that shit. Yeah. Because at first you think, okay, I might sound better, but I'm not feeling better when I'm singing.
Yeah, I mean, when you walk off stage and the place is going crazy and you still feel kind of empty inside, and then you go sit in the dressing room and start pounding beers or a couple of bottles of Jack Daniels, and you feel better. And when you go out into a social area and you're carrying a drink everywhere you go, I did my first complete sober tour on the UDO tour, Steel Factory. That was the first tour I ever did totally sober. And it was great. I mean, I was strong every night. I had a great time. I was healthy. And I said, what the hell was I thinking? You know, I was just kind of that 80s mentality. You know, you get stuck in that bubble. You know, when you're playing in those days, everybody was doing cocaine and heroin and drinking. And it was just like going to Subway sandwich or Burger King. I mean, it was kind of what everybody did, and some of us got stuck in it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's I mean, whatever you want to do, but as a singer, I mean, if you really want to last and keep your voice, rest and work at your craft and you don't have to scream your guts out on every song to prove to the world that you can have a high register. I mean, who cares? Yeah, who cares? I mean, give the song what it deserves.
I needed many years to understand that Rob Halford really sounds fucking awesome in his lower register, and really doesn't need to always belt out the high-pitched tunes.
Yeah, he's an amazing voice. There's a guy, there's freaks out there. You know, you got Paul Rodgers, you've got Halford, you've got Glenn Hughes, and a few others that are in their 70s who use what they have really well. Now, they are kind of freaks of nature that they still have that great sound. But if you get a guy like David Coverdale, I sat through 2 songs, I had to leave. It was like, you're not singing well when I see you live. I don't want to pay my money to watch you sound like a screaming cat.
Yeah.
You know, I want to listen to your voice in a lower register, you know, singing blues songs. I mean, Still of the Night, we all know you did it 30 years ago, but you can't do it anymore. And
yeah, I understand.
I'm just being honest. I mean, he's obviously made it huge in his life and done great things, but guys like Halford and, you know, Halford's not the singer he was 20 years ago, nor am I, but he uses that really cool, low, evil sounding. Look at Bruce Dickinson. I mean, he's another one.
Yeah.
Fantastic singer. I mean, I wonder what Freddie Mercury would sound like if he was still alive. You know?
Oh,
I mean,
yeah, I'm a really big Queen fan. That was a big part of my musical socialization.
Yeah.
That is a
did
hard word.
Did you see them live with Freddie?
No, I'm just 41. I never had the opportunity because he died when I was 10.
I was fortunate to see him, and I can tell you I couldn't take my eyes off him as a performer and as a singer. I mean, he was dressed really crazy. He came out in like these weird small black leather shorts and a black hat, but he had like wings, bird wings on his shoulders. But that voice and that presence, I mean, you just could not take your eyes off this charismatic genius. And I knew all their songs, and I'm standing there going, wow, I'm watching Queen live, you know. And I've had friends that had seen them during Sheer Heart Attack in England in those days at the Rainbow and the Marquee and the Hammersmith. They got to see the beginning. God, I would have loved to have seen that. But he was, if you listen, I listen to Queen now and I go, God, what a lost treasure he is. I mean, amazing.
Yeah, he graced the earth. That's for sure. Some people just, like Ronnie James Dio. It was really something special. I had the opportunity, and I took the opportunity to see him live playing as support for Deep Purple. I think that was 2007.
Not long before he died.
And I did get to see Ronnie James Dio and Deep Purple with my father and my brother. And I think, in hindsight, that was one of the greatest moments in the life of my father. Yeah,
Ian Gillan and Ronnie Dio.
Yeah,
and I mean another great singer. I mean, Ronnie was a freak too, because Ronnie never warmed up. He just walked on stage. I mean, his warm up was a Guinness and a joint. I mean, that's how Ronnie went on stage. I mean, he didn't work at singing. He just had a gift from God that you know, he could just go out there and do stand up and shout and blow your head off, you know.
Yeah, it was because he learned how to play the trumpet.
Yeah, and he was also a bass player, which also gave him the phrasing and the great vocal style, and blowing trumpet or trombone gave him the lung capacity. But he never went to vocal school or anything. I mean, but he sounded great every night, you know.
Yeah, that is a dream come true for every vocalist, I think.
Yeah.
David, I have one final question.
Okay.
For today, as I know you have an appointment at 7, and for me, a man has to eat.
Absolutely.
So I always ask this question to anyone. It's is there anyone on this planet, any band, any musician left for you to want to play with live?
I've always had kind of a secret fantasy to sing for Michael Schenker. I always thought that my sound and my voice, because I grew up with Phil Mogg, obviously with UFO, he's a big influence on me as a lyricist and a singer. But I always had this kind of fantasy to do a record with Michael Schenker. Now, it'll probably never happen. And also, I would like to work with Jimmy Page. I would, you know, there's a few out there, but I mean, Schenker's always been kind of my secret guilty pleasure as a guitar player. That's why Andy Susamil in my solo band, I like his playing because he's got a little Gary Moore, a little Schenker, and he's got his own style too, but he puts them all together with Gilmore and all those guys. It's a weird thing, but Andy touches on all those colors and then he has his own style that give the songs character. But I would like to do a really Mississippi Delta blues album too. Find some guy who plays in a catfish restaurant that plays blues, you know, and just sit down and write real blues songs too. Just something like that before I die, you know.
Well, I think that Schenker thing could work out well because he got that Michael Schenker project, and I can tell you from my reviews that Robin McAuley's voice is not what it used to be, and you would sound fine on that record.
I mean, I know he's working with Ronnie Romero, and I saw some live footage from England. Ronnie sounded great. But like I said, it's just you know, I saw UFO in '77 on the Strangers of the Night tour, and I didn't know who they were. And before I leave you, I mean, I saw this blonde guitar player with a black spandex bodysuit with these giant boots and a white flying V standing under a white spotlight, looking through his hair at the audience. And I didn't know the band because it was kind of a gift to go, and Rick Derringer was opening, so I wanted to see him play. And the next day, I bought every UFO album I could find because something about him just was so great, his sound and his tone and his image and just the songs. And I went, who is that guy? Wow. And I've been a fan ever since. And you know, I've crossed paths with him a few times in his good times and in his good times. But I've also met him when I was in Accept when he wasn't doing so well. But he always was a quality musician. And I think Herman Frank, I mean, I got to be honest, Herman Frank is, I think, criminally underrated. I mean, when in Accept, I mean, Wolf's a good guitar player, but if you listen to Herman Frank play guitar, that guy rips too. I mean, I'm pretty excited to be working with Herman. This guy can write metal songs and he can play. He's got his own tone and feel. And I'm really excited about Iron Allies. I mean, that guy, him and I fit really well together. So there's a lot of fan base that are really excited about that.
Yeah, it's great for that. I will listen.
Yeah,
if it comes out.
Yeah, it's coming out probably early next year. So I'll definitely be talking to you again.
Okay, let's do that.
All right, well, go eat something healthy, and thanks for the interview, and I wish you all well, and hopefully COVID dies and we all get back to life again.
Yeah, get back to life and get back to the stages.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, have a nice night. And
thank you, brother.
Yeah.
Thank you for the interview. Adios.
Bye-bye.
Ciao.
Ciao, ciao.